My name is Tiffany Krusey, and I am the Victim Services Coordinator for the Lynnwood Police Department.
I'm Detective Arnett. I'm a detective here at the Lynnwood Police Department. I work persons crimes, but specifically I take most of our sexual assaults.
Today specifically, we're going to be talking about sexual assault between adults, where a perpetrator is an adult and the victim is adult. We will later get to talk about the impacts on sexual assault with children. So we're going to talk about what sexual assault is and who it affects. So the definition of sexual assault would be any unwanted, intimate touching by one person to another. That'd be the layman's way of describing that. So I think what's really important is to talk about when somebody discloses information that they have been sexually assaulted, how we can respond, who those victims can be, who they are, and who we're interacting with, and how it impacts communities in harm.
Sexual violence doesn't discriminate, so it's gonna impact all socioeconomic levels, all race, all gender. Every 68 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted. 1 out of every 10 rape victims are male. People ages 12 to 34 are in their highest risk years for rape and sexual assault.
On average, Indigenous folks ages 12 and older experience 5,900 sexual assaults per year. 1 out of every 6 American women has been the victim of an attempted or completed rape in her lifetime.
I think it's really important that we sort of talk about this misnomer that TV puts out about sex assaults. And so if some of you are coming into this thinking about any of those crime shows that you've seen, whether it's CSI or Law and Order, I need you to know that it's just not accurate. You need to wipe it out of your brain because it's really sort of preventing us as a larger community from supporting our sexual assault victims, but also holding our sexual assault predators accountable for their actions. Often when I talk to members of the public about sex assault, they believe that the victim is going to immediately disclose. I think that's the first really big issue that people have struggled to wrap their head around. When you've been sexually assaulted, most of my victims immediately try to make themselves safe, and then they try and figure out what happened to them. Actually, when you consider the most important factor in that process, trying to reason yourself through it, is the fact that the person who committed this assault against you as an adult is likely an acquaintance. It's a dating partner. It's someone you're in a relationship with. So try and tell your brain that somebody who is supposed to be trusted actually did something that was really violating to your body. So I really want you to know, if you've been the victim of sexual violence, I have no expectations that you're going to come in and tell me within 24 hours. That's crazy. It almost never happens. You come in when you're ready, and when you're ready might be years later. It doesn't matter. We can still prosecute those crimes.
When we talk about the impacts of trauma instantaneously on somebody and them trying to process through what is actually happening, when people have an expectation or even allude to an expectation that they should have fought back, or that they should have said no, or question, why would you freeze? I think that becomes something that's very difficult for a victim to process through.
There's a lot of mental health symptoms that come for a lot of these victims afterwards. 33% of women who are raped contemplate suicide. 13% of women who are raped attempt suicide. Approximately 70% of rape or sexual assault victims experience moderate to severe distress, a larger percentage than any other violent crime. If something like what we've been talking about today has happened to you, please come in and report it to the Lynnwood Police Department. If you're not ready, we have a list of resources listed at the end of this video, and I want you to try each of them until you find the right fit that works for you. You can come and talk to me about this at any time. There's no rush. So if you're not ready today, then we'll talk next week.
I think it's really important for you to take time to focus on your heart and your healing, and know that when you come and report this to law enforcement, that the information that we ask, some of the things that we have to ask are questions that are hard, but we ask those without judgment. And that the hope is that we can engage with you in a manner that is understanding of where you are at, and we want to meet you where you're at.